What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we have the first impressions of Season 2. We had a 2-hour session with the devs that were showing a lot of footage, including destruction, the new maps that are coming, new guns, an operation expansion, the campaign we've been waiting for, optimization improvements, vehicle improvements, jet gameplay possibly. And the last thing, they were interviewing some creators in which we're talking about MMR matchmaking and a possible console release, but also, unfortunately, a delay for the mobile release of Delta Force. So we're quickly going to go through it. I'll try and leave some timestamps down in the description so you can quickly scroll through it, because there is a lot to cover. So we're quickly I'm trying to go quickly through everything with showing some footage in the background. So the first thing they were talking about is the Season Pass XP cap will be removed. So you can try and completely finish the Season Pass real quick if you want to before the new season starts. But also the new season will not have a Season Pass XP cap at all. Next thing they were talking about is changing in-game vehicle attachments. So when you're spawning in with a vehicle, you can change your attachments in-game if you want to try and adapt better to the situation and the circumstances. And the handling is improved. I'll show some footage right now, and you can see the before and after. And actually the improvements look very, very good. Now the next thing we're talking about is the added destruction, and Delta Force is taking it to the absolute next level here with the destruction they're adding into the game. They've shown an example here on Ascension. I don't know if they're going to do it to more maps or like similar destruction type of thing, but if you hit the big main tower with the rocket, this is what's going to happen. And as you can see, it's also creating new places to go to. There will be a little bit of an underground section on Ascension. So looking really forward to this and how this is going to play out. I really hope the destruction will also add like extra cover and basically change the entire vibe of the map in a way where it doesn't feel like there's no cover at all anymore. There's just a lot of debris which can be used in different ways. But the destruction looks very, very impressive. Next thing they're talking about is optimization improvement. They're going to try and improve the hit registration in game, which might be very frustrating to many, and also some latency issues. So I feel like the connecting to server, where sometimes it makes you wait really long to find a game and you still end up in a 100 ping server, that they're going to work on that. Also, next thing they showed on how many cheaters they've banned already. They were just quickly flexing some numbers, but it was genuinely looking good, and how they were going to improve that during Season 2. Now we're going into the actual Season 2 content we're getting. So we saw a little like snippet, and in that snippet we get the riot shield operator view, but we also get jet gameplay, as you can see right here. So we're possibly going to get some jet gameplay coming into Season 2, which I'm very curious for how they're going to handling jets and how that's going to work. Definitely going to try and get some gameplay with that as soon as I possibly can. So then the first map that's coming to Warfare is going to be called Knife Edge, which will be on top of the map Zerodam, as you may know from the operations. This will be an infantry only map, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of choke points and all that, but they said in the dev thing that they were going to work on that. I have some footage of a Knife Edge right now. What's really cool to see is we got a glimpse into what the actual editor sees when they're working on the map. And the next map is going to be Trainwag. They also showed some footage there. It's going to be an infantry and vehicle map with some open sections. Hopefully not too open. And I think this map is actually going to be quite a big one, especially when you look at it from a King of the Hill / Conquest POV. There is a lot of sections to go to, but quite some open sections in between when you're trying to move from buildings to buildings, or from like certain points of interest to other points of interest. You have to cover some open ground, so it's definitely going to play a little bit different. Definitely a little bit more for the vehicle player. The map is quite long as well. They showed each sector when you're playing attack and defense, and I think there's like 4 or 5 sectors, which play over quite a wide range of the map. And also they showed the fortification building, what's going to happen in the Season 2. So Season 2 will have like fortification building like you will probably have seen in Battlefield 5. You can literally build fortifications on the spot to create some extra cover. Next thing we're getting is for operations specifically, we're getting a new area to Zero Dam, and Space City will get some changes with also a new section called Broken Bridge. They showed a little bit of gameplay of the new area on Zero Dam. They didn't really show anything from Space City, but there will be some changes made because apparently this map is the sweaty map. I don't play operations myself, and they were trying to make some changes, so it's going to be a little bit more playable for those players. The next thing they were talking about is the 3v3v3 game mode, which is called Hot Zone. The basic point of this game mode is they're trying to upload a Mandel brick, and you will gain points by either killing both of the other teams, or you will be uploading the Mandel brick, and that's how you will win the game. Very curious how this is going to be playing out. Looks like a very competitive type of game mode. Actually sounds quite fun, but it's quite a bit different from what you would expect from the operations mode. It will be played on those maps, and it's going to be played on smaller sections of the operations mode. They also showed some gameplay with that. Next thing was the new operator, which we probably already have seen. It's going to be a dude with a shield who also has a grapple hook that can basically grapple onto people. I have not seen the grapple being used to actually climb stuff, which I thought was quite interesting. So the new grapple hook, you can either grapple onto people that you're trying to kill or grapple onto people that you're trying to revive. You can also use the shield, of course, and then there was a barbed wire, which is probably the player's grenade option. You can put barbed wire on the ground and will basically make it hard for the enemy player to move. They also had some gameplay with that.
Shaping the next generation with his calm and decisive approach.
Armor standing by.
Quickly don heavy protective armor to significantly reduce incoming damage. Saniva is also equipped with a retractable blast shield to block incoming bullets, and a shield bash ability to knock down enemies or deflect thrown objects.
Poison crap out! Got you! Forward me!
The next thing was the new movement they're adding. They're actually adding a lot of movement during the next upcoming seasons. This one's going to be the dolphin dive. But later on they showed a roadmap, and there's actually quite a lot of things happening in terms of movement specifically. But now we're getting the dolphin dive, which they also showed some gameplay with. Next up, they showed the customizations for the new season pass. If you're trying to get that, all content will be free, but like customizations and all that stuff will be available for the season pass if you're trying to, customize your weapons a little bit more than they already have. Next up was very big news. They were talking about their campaign, and we're still not sure if it's going to be a paid or a free-to-play campaign. What they said basically is that the campaign is more going to be an experience. They said also, which I thought was quite interesting, it's not going to be the best experience, but it's more going to be a movie-like game mode, which you can be played in co-op. And the campaign is going to have 7 chapters, and they showed like some image of each chapter in the beginning. which I'll be showing right now. You can see that it looks actually quite impressive. Can't wait to get my hands on this. I think this is going to be available on the 20th of January as well once the season drops. Then at the very end, they showed a roadmap of what's going to be happening in 2025. There's a lot of information, but as you can see, we're getting basically new weapons and new maps almost each season, but also like improved movement and changes to the current maps that we already have. Hopefully, they will keep adding a lot of maps, because right now it says, for example, for Season 3 and 4, it says map, no plural. So basically, I hope this is not going to be a 2024 or 2042 repetition where we're going to have one map each season, which will get boring like quite quickly. So we're possibly going to get 4 seasons during 2025. I'm very curious exactly on how they're going to keep the community entertained. But honestly, it looks quite good. Lots of improvements over time, but also improvements to the current maps, which is cool. Like probably it's going to be similar to the destruction we're getting on Ascension. All those type of extra features, which actually gets me excited to play Ascension in Season 2. Very curious what's going to be happening there. Then we had some bad news. The mobile version is being delayed in 2025 summer. So we're going to get the mobile version in 2025 summer. They put up a big message of basically saying that the game is just not ready for it, and they want to give the best experience once it's released. So the mobile version should be expected in the summer. And the very last thing is the interviews we had with the creators. So they brought up a couple of creators, and they were allowed to ask a couple of questions. And I basically point out the most interesting questions, which were about the console release and MMR matchmaking. So Focused asked about the console release, and this was their answer.
Great to hear. Lastly, with the release of Delta Force Mobile coming up soon on January 20th, what can we plan for the future of the full release of the game as well as console access?
Right. As we talked in this stream before, that the mobile version of Delta Force will be launched during the summer 2025, because we feel we needed more time to optimize the game for an even wider range of devices. But we will start closed beta for mobile devices very soon.
So which was a little bit weird and concerning is they kind of ignored the question about console and went over to saying that mobile version was being delayed and released in the summer, which they already stated right before Focus was asking this question. Which makes me question if console release is being delayed as well, or if it's still like going to be for Q1 2025. But hopefully we get some news on that very soon. Was a little bit disappointed to not hear any news about either controller support or the console release. Next thing, we had Enders asking a question about MMR matchmaking, and this was their answer.
Are there any possibility? Is there any possibility of MMR matchmaking being tweaked in the Havoc Warfare mode?
Right. Regarding matchmaking, we have taken a look into the states we have taken a look into the data from the states, because we have recently deployed new servers at Virginia to reduce latency for the players. This, on one hand, yes, it does improve the connection quality, but on the other hand, this means there will be less players on each server in the States. So you might be running into the same players for several game streaks. And we want to assure you that there's no real, let's say, skill-based matchmaking in our game.
Yeah, they basically said there's no skill-based matchmaking, and the reason why you get put into the same servers over and over and over is because there are different locations, so you might connect to the same players in a row, which I thought was interesting considering the amount of players that are playing this game. But oh well, that's the answers we got from the developers. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it. A lot of content to be covered in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are excited for Season 2. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel for more Delta Force content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.